for Module 5, we have memory here. This mind map shows memory as a timeline, starting with memories that last less than a second and ending with memories that can last decades or even a lifetime. So let's start at the very beginning. The first stage is sensory memory. This is the brain's immediate, ultra-brief holding area for incoming sensory information. It only lasts a few seconds at most, and within sensory memory there are two types. First is iconic memory, which is visual sensory memory. It lasts about half a second. For example, when you see a sparkler and the light trail seems to hang in the air for a split second. That's iconic memory. Second is echoic memory. This is auditory sensory memory. This lasts slightly longer, around 2 to 4 seconds, and it's what allows you to replay the last few words someone said, even if you weren't fully paying attention. If we don't focus on this sensory memory, it disappears almost instantly. Next comes working memory. This is where we actively think. Working memory holds and manipulates information for about 20 to 30 seconds. For example, if you're doing mental maths or following some multi-step instructions like a recipe, you're using working memory. And closely connected is short-term memory, which also lasts around 20 to 30 seconds without rehearsal. If we don't repeat or process the information, it fades. This short lifespan explains something called the recency effect. We tend to remember the last items on a list better because they're still sitting in short-term or working memory when we try to recall them. So the example I have here is when a teacher kind of summarizes the key points of the lesson in the last 10 to 20 minutes of a lesson. That's the recency effect. On the other hand, the primacy effect, we also remember the first items of a list well, not because they're recent, but because they've had more time to be rehearsed and transferred into long-term memory. So this could be a first impression because you'd remember your first impression of someone upon meeting them. So how does memory become long-lasting? At the biological level, this involves long-term potentiation. Long-term potentiation is the strengthening of connections between neurons. These strengthened connections can last hours, days, or longer, and they form the foundation of long-term memory. Once information is stored more permanently, it enters long-term memory. This is a relatively permanent memory store with a huge capacity. It can last for days, years, or even a lifetime. There are different types as well. Episodic memory stores personal experiences, like your last birthday. Semantic memory stores facts and general knowledge. Procedural memory stores skills, like knowing how to drive a car. And at the very end of our timeline here is permastore. These are extremely durable memories that last for decades without practicing. This is like your native language and your vocabulary.